big changes, Paul Thurrott. Big changes that impact both of us in different ways.
Okay.
Okay. It's still a rumor, still a report, but it comes from Bloomberg, so probably pretty trustworthy. Next year, there's going to be no Call of Duty.
This year, right? I think it's this
No,
year.
no.
Oh, no, this year. You're right. I'm sorry.
They're going to launch
Right.
Modern Warfare 2, whatever.
Yep.
Let's be honest. It's really like Modern Warfare like 9 or 6 or something. Like they've done this a couple times. Anyways.
Yeah, it is.
There's going to be a Modern Warfare this year. There's going to be an update to Warzone this year. And then next year, it's going to be Nilch.
We talked about this. Does this thing really need a new game every year? I mean, update the multiplayer experience. You know, people would pay.
The problem becomes that billion, the $1 billion that they make. I mean, that's a lot of cheddar.
It is the $1 billion they make. Why would you spend all this money on something nobody wants? Like I don't know. So
I'd really like them to think like, yeah, that's Microsoft's problem.
It's Microsoft. They're pulling a Nokia. It's just halt new development. We're being
Dude, they are
right. Well, look, these things take years.
They do.
So whatever the game. Well, look, the game after Modern Warfare 2 has got to be Black Ops, except if they're skipping a year, maybe they intend to conclude that trilogy.
Maybe.
But either way, right, those games are very popular. In fact, those are the only two series these days that are viable in any way. I'm having a hard time remembering here. I feel like Black Ops 4 didn't have a single player, or was that some other Black Ops?
One of them didn't. You're right. One of them did not.
Yeah, but the most recent one did, didn't it? Like Cold War? I think it did.
It did.
I barely looked at it if it did. I don't even know. I don't, I went back because of the pandemic. I actually went back and finished the new Modern Warfare single player campaign late, like 8, 9 months, 10 months, whatever it was later, just because I was bored. But I mean, look, this doesn't impact me that much. I've been playing the same goddamn Call of Duty game for forever now because Modern Warfare multiplayer was laggy weird for me. The Black Ops Cold War, same problem. They actually solved this problem in Vanguard, but Vanguard looks terrible.
Yeah, I was going to say, so for people who don't follow this like Paul and I do daily, Vanguard has been a dump.
Really?
Yeah, Vanguard bombed, and they're now worried that not this year's upcoming game will bomb, but next year's game is going to bomb for whatever reason.
They can't afford to have. They were going to go to World War II again, probably. So
probably, yeah, that'd be my something dumb.
Like we were going to do the Korea War.
Yeah.
What? Nobody wants that. Okay.
So that they're punting that. Clearly, they're going to do. I would imagine they're going to have some sort of in-game thing or something or other to try to suck more dollars out of everybody. In a year.
Yeah, I mean, Warzone obviously will be updated. What they need to do, well, actually, they'll set this up for Modern Warfare. What they should do, and this is going to be a new engine and everything, so I have hopes, despite the fact of history, that maybe multiplayer will be okay with that version. But they can maintain multiplayer on that thing for 2 years, right? Just do season updates and stuff. I think it's, Modern Warfare is what people want. So I just came up with this as we were talking, but honestly, it kind of makes sense to me to do Modern Warfare again and just finish it up, right after it, 2 years later.
Well, they can't finish it, otherwise then they're out of it. Again, that's Microsoft's problem.
And then just go multiplayer. God, who cares about these stories?
I know. That story is, it's...
The World War II stuff was compelling in the beginning, and this is like 20 years ago, because it was history.
Yeah, because it was the first time we played World War II.
Yeah, and it was increasingly realistic, visceral and exciting. But the thing that also happened during that time was they honed multiplayer. And by the time they got to, actually it was probably Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, right? That game is what touched off the Call of Duty we know today. Yep. And I mean, in every sense, from the locale and setting, the types of guns and loadouts you get and so forth, to the multiplayer, the style of multiplayer with, which has escalated in complexity over time. But, we've got people calling in gunships now, and depending on the game, you can drive vehicles and you can, lay little traps, which is kind of my favorite thing to do. So anyway, here we are. It's like 20 years later.
Yep. Still
it had to come to
playing whatever. Anyway, so we'll see. I don't know. I don't think it impacts me too. They need to. Warzone right now is so screwed up. It's really screwed up I can't believe they actually screwed it up this bad. Just there's 17,352 different weapons. They're like wildly imbalanced. The game has bugs that are just ridiculous. That the game will just freeze, or you load in what they call it N64 graphics, where you get it looks like N64. It is.
We've already solved this problem for them. They need that Call of Duty Online thing. That is all of the best maps from every game, mixes of loadouts from different eras, the ability to make playlists where you say, we're only going to play classic World War II maps, but with Modern Warfare weapons, or however you want to do it. And what are they, like kill streaks or score streaks, depending on the game.
Yep.
And I think people would rally around this.
Yeah, just
it would be
$60
people
a
who
year.
just played those things that they loved, right? No matter what they were. And I'm doing that right now. I'm literally, but given the choice, I would have so much more variety if I could just pick and choose between all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I would pay them for this. This would be a subscription service, monthly, annual, however you want to do it. And I would just ride that out.
If you say it a little louder so the people in Redmond can hear you, they might be like, "You're going to do what?"
I have been talking about this for years.
Yeah, no, it's Warzone got sort of close to it, sort of close. But
there was a time in Warzone. In fact, I think it was. Well, Warzone started with Modern Warfare, right? That was I think that was the time.
Yep.
So one of the fun things about revisiting Modern Warfare is you get to revisit some of the maps from the classic Modern Warfare. So there was like the airport level, and actually there were a couple of airport levels, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. And there were these early peaks at either the original Warzone map or things that were coming later. And what it seemed like what was happening was that the individual multiplayer maps were kind of places in that Warzone island. So from the air, you could look down and be like, "Oh, there's that airport map. Oh, look, there's the other map I know really well, whatever." And I always thought that was like that's a really cool idea. You like have them exist in a
except they totally abandoned it with the update they just pushed, and then
Anyway, look, the pieces are all in place. They can do this.
They could. What else is going on in the world?
What is going on in the world?
There's not. I mean, not
a lot. Well, Mobile World Congress is coming up, right?
True.
So you can expect there's going to be some announcements around that. I don't think I'm violating any surprises.
People are going to announce stuff at a conference.
I know. Well, actually, the thing that makes it weird, other than the fact that pandemic and whatnot, we just had CES, and so when you think about the normal scheme of things, and especially in the PC world, CES is one of the big events at which companies announce new products. It's usually tied to the release of Intel's next generation mobile processors. Those things come out from February to whenever, actually probably the rest of the year. And then we have IFA in Berlin, usually in September, late August, something like that. And that's the holiday PCs, and we see this all new hardware of all types all year long. But I mean, typically Intel is just about to announce the next gen on the desktop side, and that's good for gaming PCs and for holiday sales and that kind of stuff. And I'll just tell you, it's going to be a busy Mobile World Congress. So what is today? February 23rd. Yeah, so we still got over a week, I guess, or about a week before that starts. So that will be interesting.
Almost as interesting as not a Call of Duty coming up.
I just hope it's Korea.